Am I on time? Yeah, I am. I'm kind of set, but not. I gotta still plug in a couple items. Took the DR10 out today, early this morning. Obviously you saw I took it out yesterday. Still have issues, but I'm wondering if those issues are just me being a complainer or a wine bag. I don't know. Not being this race scene, I just don't know. TR, I feel like I'm not. I'm feeling like it should. Let's see here. I actually do have coffee brewing right now. Let's see, where are we here? So, that one. Hey, look at that. See, a much better ad. But what happened to my Black Rifle Coffee Company advertisements? Those were way better. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this episode of COVID and Coffee. We're going to talk again. I know it's literally been all DR10 lately, but sometimes when I get something stuck in my head, it kind of has a tendency to stay there. So I'm sorry if you're looking for other content right now. If you are looking for other content, you obviously know what to do. You just change it to because right now I've got to get this thing. Like what Earl said, squared up. So it's not only just squared away, it's squared up. So right now I'm not. So right now, body on, you see the car launch, everything looks great, but what you're not seeing is you're not seeing the underlying things that I'm doing to the car to make it straight, which I feel is a certain kind of wrong. Like, I know there's supposed to be little tweaks and adjustments and stuff like that, but I feel right now that I've caused the car to go straight. I've caused it to at times use the wheelie bar when it's necessary, meaning when it gets that real nice hookup and power's right. I want to say the DR10, again, who am I to talk, okay? But for an RTR on 2S, I think you're fine. And yes, it's 3S too. That's why it says 2 to 3S. But I think whenever you're getting into those higher power numbers, you have to expect what's that movie? Something's got to give. So I think you have to expect things. Things are gonna. I'm just doing my coffee right now. Things have gotta. You gotta modify things. You gotta maybe possibly upgrade things. And I had made a blind purchase. Now, I'm no racer, so I also, I have a tendency to just look at a part, think it's gonna do what I want it to do, and then end up realizing that damn thing actually did exactly the opposite. So I ended up modifying. So I ended up getting those block things, the C&D blocks. I'll show you this one right here. So I got these C&D blocks, right? Well, they work as intended for other scenarios, not. And I don't understand. They've got the ability to be able to make these work to do what I'm wanting them to do, but maybe that's just not the way it's supposed to be. So my intent was to get this rear end straightened out. Like, I know we're dealing with geometry and blah, whatever, all this other garbage. But still, I don't want the rear end doing this. It doesn't need to be a damn triangle. You know what I mean? We're not pushing dirt here. We're on pavement where you want that, at least in my head, you want that straightest track possible. Now, I was actually able to take these, this is the D block. So I was actually able to take the C block. This one's pointless. And I'll explain why. So like, all it does is it moves the arms further out in the back. So that was actually pointless. That was a waste of time. Jack Brazier, what's going on, man? Jack Brazier, you were first on today, man. I don't want to lose my train of thought because it's so easy to do. For whatever. Thank you, sir. Any. I'll just put any. All right, so we've got Jack Brazier was obviously first this morning. Jerry VRC, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Eric Vale, morning. What's happening to you? We got Justin O'Neill, Gold Goose Gaming, Michael Dyke, Amped RC, Kent RC, R. German is here, Chef Beardsley, Earl Moorhead, Casey Benson, and then right at, let's see, who got it right at 10:45? So even before I started the stream, Michael Dyke got it today. So, yesterday afternoon, heads lock much better. You have short pads, try flat. James Beeman, what's happening? Steel City RC, what's going on, brother? You're off work today. Awesome. It's good to have you here, man. Gus's Custom Creations, what's happening, brother? Discovery RC, good morning. Just going through the thing here. Foundry, good morning to you as well. Foundry, I'm glad you kind of gave us all an update because people, you got to realize people end up do get missed, and you wonder like, gee, I wonder what's going on. So I'm glad you're doing well. Just I'm using a driver to mix my coffee. I put cinnamon in my coffee, but I think it's always weird. So looks like the stream is off. Is the stream? What's it doing? I think the stream is garbage this morning, isn't it? It is. So this stream is actually looking like junk. Sean's RC Adventure. You're pushing snow. Snow. Right. Mitchell. Dude, holy crap. What are you doing, guy? Mitchell's RC. Thank you, sir. Holy smokes. Mitchell, I don't think there's going to be room on this thing, but by the time you're done, holy crap, dude. You just killed the super chats. Holy crap, dude. You're insane. You're totally insane. And I know what you're doing. I know what that's for. I got you, man. I know, he is killing it. Try that Death Wish coffee, right? I know, Mitchell's killing the internet. I know, he did. Tony, what's going on, man? We got CCXRC. Yeah, I've realized that I'm gonna talk YouTube just for a little bit. So I realized that once you start a YouTube channel, like it's hard to get it kind of going unless you've got like crazy awesome content. So for this channel, it's been, you know, pumping along, trying to, strolling along or whatever. And it's gotten right now to a point where we've got an awesome group of people and it slowly keeps like expanding, which is great. I absolutely love it. But what it also does is that as somebody that now does YouTube, I never thought this was going to be something I would do, but I actually enjoy it. I enjoy like literally talking to people. I enjoy trying to, like, at least with this DR10, with help. I'm not saying that people aren't helping me, because we all know there's somebody in this room right now, in this chat room, that has helped me, and that definitely helped yesterday. That addition with the stupid movement of the battery helped. Every little bit helps, but alignment, yeah, alignment definitely works. But I think what's killing me is that there's still certain alignment things that I want to do to this car that just don't seem to be happening. But on the YouTube aspect of it, when you create a channel and you get people that, like watching like a TV show. Like, there have been times, like, let's just say like a TV show pops on, right? A series. And it's going to be, a bunch of episodes and maybe a few seasons or whatever. That's maybe hopefully the intent. And then you'll watch like, I don't know, however many episodes are in a season, like what, 5 or 10 episodes in a season or whatever. So let's say you watch those episodes and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it just stops. So then it's almost as if you feel slighted. So what you have to remember is that you don't want to slight people. I mean, people also realize that you have to take random breaks here and there, but if you do a YouTube channel and then everybody's grouping together and it becomes that community thing, and they're expecting, or people are expecting content or whatever, you have to do it. And it eventually becomes a job. So even this morning, going out and doing the few rips that I did this morning, that was actually because I wanted to, not because of the content. It was because, okay, I changed something on the car. I have to see if it's going to work. What I hate though is I hate the fact that what I'm doing I'll explain all of this. What I'm doing to the car to make it launch straight, I absolutely hate the fact that that's how it's happening. And I gotta figure out why. And there's also things that, you know what I mean? Like, but the YouTube thing, once you become that, person that people actually want to watch, whether they're laughing at you or whether they're actually enjoying the content, the people are still there. So don't forget to every once in a while toss in an update and say, hey, just letting you know I am alive. That's all you had to do, right, Gary? All you had to do is to go, just letting you know I'm alive. You could have been coughing. You could have had your N95 on. You know what I mean? Just, I know you say it's hard, but when I first started this, it was hard for me too to look at a device, because at the time when my YouTube channel was small, at the time when I was looking at the device, that's all I was talking to. I was just talking to a device. But like doing these lives have actually helped, because I also know that it's not just me looking at a thing. I'm basically looking at all you guys. Like, it's why, like, you try not to have, like, right now, right? This is the camera. So obviously, I've got the back-facing camera facing me. Reason being is because I know where to look. Now, if I have the camera face the other way, I have more of a tendency to do this, and it drives me insane when I watch somebody else's YouTube channel and the camera is right there, but what they're more doing is they're looking at themselves, and it's like, that doesn't work. Like, see, right now, I'm making it look as though I'm looking at a screen, even though there's no screen. Doesn't that annoying? Like, when you, like, realize that the person's not looking at you. Like little stupid things that I've picked up on. And I still catch myself every once in a while when that camera is flipped the other way. I think it's human nature to maybe look at motion. Maybe you're looking at yourself to make sure you're in frame, but you see a lot of people and they constantly, like there's one person, they're constantly like this and they're talking to you and it's like, dude, you're not even talking to me, you're talking to yourself. You know what I mean? But anyways, instead of doing all this talk, what is happening, everybody? How are you? Let's jump into this DR10. I want to show you what's wrong with my car. I think you saw the videos. So even this morning, the car is now, even with the change of toe, and I had to modify the toe. Even with the change of toe, it's still being consistent, but I also know, and I've left it alone, and I left it alone on purpose because I wanted to show you guys what this is doing to the car. While it may be launching it straight, every time I add a shim, right? Watch what's happening. Every time I add a shim, I'm also not adjusting other things, and you have to. Maybe there's a little bit of, obviously we know this thing has a lot of play in it. And I wish there was a way to get all the play out, because I feel like these little micro adjustments that I'm making, they should be making more of an adjustment, because there's so much slop in the car. It's not a finely tuned, it's not a finely tuned vehicle. It's an RTR that's a conversion from something that was off-road. So there's a few things that as I'm learning, and like I said, I am nothing in the world of drag racing, but I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I am also seeing stuff that I wish that I could somehow reform or remake or change, or, you know what I mean? Like, almost like I want to make my own custom, but I don't think I've got that ability. Like, maybe I could take like some of the parts off of here. I could make a custom chassis, which, and again, I'm no builder. I don't know. These are just thoughts in my head. But this is what's great about the hobby, is that you can literally do whatever the heck you want. It's your car. You know what I mean? So, like, have at it. Do it. That's why we did Drag Bug. And that's why Drag Bug is not, it's on the back burner. It's not thrown away. It isn't forgotten. Trust me, there's just not enough time in my day right now. Now, if all I did was YouTube, then that was a different story. But I don't just do YouTube. And even then, though, how could anybody that just does YouTube, how could you survive? Like, I mean, it's a lot of damn work. You got the filming, you got the editing, you got the mechanics, you got I'll tell you right now, the editing part of YouTube videos, I absolutely hate the editing part, because it takes forever. It takes forever to do a video, to upload the video, to cut it so it's not stupid. Like, I've literally been cutting, like when you watch the last part of the video that should be posting pretty soon, I actually got to check it. There's a lot of like dead space in my conversation that I've realized, actually, if I cut out those little dead spots in the timeline, it goes faster, right? Obviously the timeline goes faster, but if I cut out all those little blocks, to me, the editing actually seems more watchable. You know what I mean? Like, just seems like it's more watchable. Now, obviously nobody's talking to me because there's no red box. So I'm just going to jump into this car. Remember, obviously, if you're trying to direct a question to me, I don't always get to see it in the chat. I think my glasses are getting worse, or my eyes are getting worse, or whatever. I'm not exactly sure. But let me just show you. All right, I'm going to show you the inside of my car. Nothing has changed. It's still consistent, even though I changed the toe on it. It's still consistent. I don't know the exact degrees of change that I made. Probably should have measured it, which I'll probably just blow it apart anyway. Not now, but I'll probably just blow it apart anyway. But I just want to show you what's wrong about my car. So you obviously saw what's right about it, meaning body on, full trigger launches, it's going straight. Every once in a while, it'll tag the wheelie bar just like it's supposed to, meaning the wheelie bar is only there. Granted, I'm not a professional here, but it only seems to make sense. The wheelie bar is only there for when the vehicle hooks up hard and so it doesn't double back on itself. So it doesn't flip over. Not that I'm not saying that this car would ever flip over. I could probably rip the wheelie bar off and it'll probably be fine. It'll just grind the body. But yeah, I don't know. Never mind. I'm just gonna show you. I'm just gonna show you what's going on. I'm just blabbing. So I'm gonna try to have the camera so that you can see what's going on. So obviously, body-wise, it looks great. Going down the road, looks like it's nice and level, but it's not. It's way, way out. I'll show you the wheelie bar first. Wheelie bar. I say wheelie bar and I say wheelie bar. I think wheelie bar when I'm like amped up and talking. So here's the wheelie bar. Now you can see right off it's tweaked. And you know why it's tweaked, right? So let's just push down on the body. I got my finger. See, I got my finger like right in the middle. I'm going to push down on the body, and you'll be able to see what contacts first. So right there. So the right side of the wheelie bar is contacting first. Now, I know you know why. Let's pop the body off and show you the why. I know you know why. But let's just pop it off and show you. Now this is the part that I don't like. So on this side, I've got a 3-pack of shims. Is that focused? Right there. Look at all those shims. So that's how many shims I have on that side to make that left side wheel gain traction. Look how many shims I've got on the right side. Nothing. Now, you see how I did label my shocks? Now, obviously, now it's opposite. And it was just because of laziness. Laziness, but why break them apart? There was no need to actually open them up and change them. So obviously, that's causing the vehicle. Now it hooks up. What do you mean now I'm live? I was live. It literally just dumped out. So I right now have a slight amount of squat on the right side versus the left side. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but it is there. It's not focusing very well. Because obviously I have so much more spring tension on this side. Now, I haven't messed with anything up front. Up front is still the same way as it was. Just a very minimal, well, I mean, I did mess with it, but I messed with it to what I wanted. Shock weight oil is the same. The rebound on the shocks are the same, meaning with these shocks, no matter what you do, you're going to get a little bit of a rebound once you push that piston or valve, shaft, whatever, all the way in. We did do the Earlified fuel tubing, which obviously just limits the downward shock travel. On the front, I feel like I'm running as low as I want to be on the front, but you can see, look at how the chassis is twisted. If I were to measure, obviously this side versus that side, you can obviously see that the whole driver's side, and I'm going to say driver's side versus passenger side. This is, a vehicle that's in the United States right now, so it's just easier for me to say driver's or passenger. I suppose I could say left and right. So left side, how about that? I'll just say left side. So obviously the left side of the chassis is kicked up. Now, when the car launches, It's a whole bunch of just stuff, man. See, I want to lift up evenly so I'm not like creating bias. So as I lift up, right, you can see right away, boom, what wheel's off the ground first. Obviously the one with the way the chassis is twisted. So that is also causing a slight bit of issue when, so for me, that is also causing, it's causing issues in my head because I don't want the car to be set up like this. It's, I don't know. There has to be, because I'm wondering, you know, how do you measure spring rate? Like, without having like, you know, some $1,000 device to actually, because that's never going to happen. Without having some kind of something that exactly measures your spring heights, exactly measures your spring rate, you know, you literally have to, let's say you go and buy, you know, springs from, which Earl obviously likes Proline. So you buy your springs from Proline. I don't know who else, you know, makes springs. I have no idea. But who's to say the spring pack that you get is matched? So who's to say, because everything is so scaled down, who's to say that, you know, one shock might just have the slightest bit more pressure in it, or let's just say like even the valving in it. What if like there were burrs or something in one of the little valve holes for that shock piston shaft, whatever? And is it enough to affect like an RC car? Like, yeah, obviously. When I got my car from the factory, one whole side had shorter springs than the other side. Now, was that intentional? I'm almost wondering if it was, because from memory, this is going to sound weird, it's almost like they bench tested or road tested my car or something, because the whole right side was a shorter spring. Right side? Yeah, the whole right side was a shorter spring. Now, what side do I have my extra shims in? On my left side. So what the heck? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Earl, what's going on? Because the motor's on that side and not in the chest. Well, yeah, but how much though? Like, there's so much to weigh. Like, which way is more, the ESC versus the receiver box? You know what I mean? Obviously, the ESC is going to weigh more. I get it, but what I don't like is I don't like the twist that's in my chassis. And for me, I suppose what I could do is I technically could take my right side, I can see I got to think about it because I got to say passenger. My right side front shock, I feel as though, okay, well then technically I could take my right side front shock, or actually no, my left side rear shock, and either, wait a minute, I can't see what holes I'm in. Now see, I got to dump all my pine needles on the thing now. So to get this to be straight, then all the crap that because this is an SCX10, I take it off road too. You'll see. Actually, you probably saw in the video. So I guess what I could do is take my either left side or right side shock, maybe my left side, and lower it, meaning not lower the shock, but lower the chassis. So take that shock and bring it up a hole, which would then maybe settle that side down a little bit and not have the chassis be so tweaked. Do you know what I mean? And then, obviously, then I guess readjust my camber, because then obviously my camber's off right now anyway. That's the other thing I wanted to show you. So with adding all those shims, I should have adjusted the toe on both the left and right side. So right now on this side, it actually looks like it's towed in now on the top. And this side looks more straight. And I know you're probably going to tell me to get the straight edge. Get the damn tools out, guy. Don't just use your eyeballs, because your eyeballs are garbage. All right, so the way I had set it up after Earl talking to me, I had set it up so that it was straight. So now, obviously, because the car is listing to that right-hand side now, a little bit extra spring tension on the the left, obviously the toe is now out, because this side is now at rest, totally flat. So, I don't know. It's all stuff that, I know should be adjusted, but on the fly, I don't want to put in a shim, then adjust the toe, and then align it again. It's just pure laziness. You know what I mean? I'm glad I can slap parts on my sash right. Right, but I actually want to address that too, though. Edward, I get it. I get what your point is, because what you want to do is just want to slap parts on and go. I actually am not minding the changes, the external or extra tuning that I may have to do to this thing to get it to do what I want. So, yeah. Associate, will you just make like little toe blocks for that C block, so that I don't have to like 3D print pieces that aren't going to be accurate and not work? Like, can you just like make pieces so this rear end can be straight? Huh? Team Associated, you listening? I hope you are. $10 digital caliper from Harbor Freight works, right? Yes, it does. I've got one of those. We add shims to the left because of the... Right. I get that. I get it. I don't like... Obviously, I've got to level out the chassis, so... And that's seemingly being able to adjust, both top and or bottom of the shock location to accommodate for that. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to show what's going on with my car and the minor other adjustments that I need to make for it to maybe be more consistently going straight, I hope. And again, nothing's perfect. Watch any drag race. How many cars hit the wall? Granted, it's probably usually from breakage, but something like an oil pan or something, explodes, or not an oil pan, but you know what I mean. Something in the engine explodes and fires pieces out of the oil pan and then becomes a slick road. So, or, an axle breaks or anything. Maybe the wind blows just a little bit too much. You know what I mean? I don't know. Ethan Maxwell, what's going on, man? Nitro is better? Yeah. It's all right. Tell Elon Musk that. What? He's just following you?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a black sheet that I put on the ground when I paint.
Oh, okay.
To the point that when I turned around, I didn't know he was literally following me.
You stepped on him?
To that point, no, I kicked him in the face.
Oh, well, he always gets kicked in the face because he's always literally right there. So, I'm going to go real quick, just check on that video upstairs, just to see if it's ready. Well, actually, wait a minute. I think I can check it right here. So I can just go into my YouTube account and see if Right. So Red Blacks Axe RC actually commented on my yesterday's video about the DR10 3S, the straight launch. And he said at least it runs straight now, yes. But there's still issues. So yes, but there are still issues to iron out. There we go. So I have a video from this morning uploading now. It should actually be, yeah, it's there. So it's there. It's just not, see what happens is it's not fully processed. So it'll be like a gray box until it's processing. And I don't let videos, like I don't change it from private to public until it's in SD quality, because then it's like crap. Other than the lives, I can't do anything about the lives. You're on the right track. My car is the same. Now see, that's now see a comment like that coming from Earl, that's great, because obviously, you know, he's not all right. So if I was to point blank ask Earl, hey Earl, how do I do this? Earl's the kind of guy that would say, okay, this is what you do. The difference is I'm purposely not asking Earl these questions, but he's literally right there to say exactly that. Hey, you're on the right track. Now, if I asked him, he'd give me the answer. He'd just go, ship the damn car to me and I'll set it up for you, will you? but this is that learning, like I'm saying, this is that learning process. This damn car. I'm not kidding. This has been in a long time. This has been the best car for me to get. And I think it was it Edward? Right, 3D printed parts of two. Yes and no. Not for what I would need. So for this piece of suspension, and I'll tell you right now, you have to watch. If you're thinking 3D printed parts are not strong enough for suspension, you're only a little bit wrong. This guy, Full Throttle RC, I've talked about him a bunch of times. If you haven't checked out his channel, go check it out. He's got a good channel. He really does. He's not like, he's not like that 100,000K subscribers yet. I think he's like around about the same, I think, that I have. He's probably surpassing me now because his videos and his abilities are definitely better than mine. But besides, look at that. See that? Now, is that a piece of quartz or is that a piece of glass that my car picked up? I can't tell if it's glass or a piece of quartz. I think it's glass. That was in the chassis of my car. There's glass all over my road. I have no idea why. You have a pile of springs. Right. And see, that's good. Now, I thought about playing with springs too, but the negative part that I'm having an issue with is when you're not buying a specifically made part, meaning this DR10, like I keep telling you, this has been literally, so far for 2020, this has been my best purchase for me, because this is going to force me to learn how to tune a car. Being a thrasher, I didn't have to tune anything. Not for the type of driving I do. I have to tune anything. You just get out there and rip it. You know what I mean? Rip it into trees, rip it over jumps. Granted, yes, you tune a little bit of things here and there when you jump if you want something to change. You don't want the ass end to, spring up, or you want it to, land into a jump a little bit smoother. Yes, that kind of tuning, that's different though. This is more specific tuning. You know what I mean? And I'm loving it. not really frustrated, but every once in a while, you know, you do like not walk away, but you kind of just, damn it, you know what I mean? Like, because in your head, you want to make something work, at least for me. And I would love to be able to just throw the right parts at it to make it work. I don't know. So right now what I have to do is I have to obviously now adjust the shock heights. So, and then after I adjust the shock heights, then recheck how the camber is. That's important. Can't do anything about toe in the rear. The front, I'm pretty confident that my front end is pretty close to being how I want. It's not perfect. I wish it was more perfect. I wish there was like I wish I had a longer, lighter weight spring. Because right now, with the setup that I have, was to allow the wheels to just droop based upon shock oil and valve. And for some strange reason, right now, it could be the cold, the left side, passenger side shock is not, I think it's getting like hung up or something. I don't know. But I'd like to have like a light spring, you know, something that just is there to help assist bring the wheels down a little bit. And maybe if I put in a bigger spring, put in a heavier shock oil, I get it. But I just wanted to do what was in my head. And it's almost there. It's almost there. You know what I mean? And I think that's what I like about it. I like the fact that what was in my head kind of almost works. You know what I mean? That's the whole point. Kind of works. Flying Fortress, what is happening, guy? Counterweight I thought about that. So like, I don't always talk about what's in my head. I actually thought about taking the ESC out and taking the receiver box out and seeing what weighs more, what weighs less, whatever, because I do have that gram scale now. And then literally, if that ESC was that much more, swap it onto that right side. I thought about that. And I thought to myself, well, they designed this car. Didn't they think of that? Like, why is the ESC on the motor side? Isn't the ESC heavier than the receiver? Because the receiver's only, and it doesn't, and the other thing too, cutting weight. I don't need a receiver box. Like, no, I actually don't need a receiver box. Because there's not that much weight. I'm not that much weight. I'm not running. Well, I'm not intentionally running in wetness. You know, with this car right here, you shouldn't run anything wet. And every once in a while, it veers off the road, and basically I call it hitting a wall. Because if there was a wall there and this was a real drag race car, obviously I just hit the wall. I just roll with it. You know, I just know that, you know, once the car hits pavement again, you know, it's going to be a little squirrely because, you know, I'm going to let the tires kind of dry off and do a couple of like passes back and forth, get them all cleaned up. Yeah, I can obviously tell my tires are off because I'm definitely getting a funky, I'm getting a funky inward line now, but that also could be just It could be just the rubber, I guess. So, I don't know. My springs are / parts. I don't know if it'll work. I'm trying things like you're doing shocks. Right, location. You're doing springs tension. Right, okay. Yeah, I think what happens is like people that will jump on to my DR like videos, and I think you'll quickly realize that this is not an RTR. Like, I mean, it is, but the stuff that I'm doing to it is probably taking it away from just that basic out of the box kind of thing. Doing kind of hack stuff to it, but not. I'm just testing things out. You know, realizing that, man, if I did have like maybe a lighter weight spring in the front, but then again, I could just up the shock oil. I could put diff oil in the shocks. Just kidding. You know what I mean? Like, you have to try things first. Try something. If it doesn't work, try something else. Modify it. You know what I mean? Like the fact that right now, I'm going. I mean, come on, look how my battery is. What the hell? That's how my battery sits in the car. But I'll tell you right now, with the weight of that brick of a battery, it works. It's causing the car to do so far what I was looking for it to do. Okay? That might not be the way it's supposed to be. Probably should have the battery all the way down there and further back, but I can't. So that brick of a pack, which is probably a little bit heavier than what maybe other people are running, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. And maybe if I switch to different tires, if I switch to a different tire, could I lay that pack down? Because now we're getting grip here. Now that things are more aligned here, hopefully it would hook up better. Maybe I wouldn't have to have that battery pack upward ticked like that so that's Velcroed to the shock tower. You know what I mean? But it doesn't go anywhere. That pack does not move. So I think that's a good thing. Plus, it gives it more aerodynamics and airflow. You know, if air was to come inside here, you know, it pushes down on the pack, gives it more tags the rear end more. Could always be a defect in the shock. See, I gotta be careful how I put this thing on so I don't shut off the stream. But I mean, I keep saying it. I'm stuttering now. I'm having a blast. That's the whole point, man. It's the whole point, you know? I probably won't ever have to play with or tune a vehicle, adjust. I don't even want to call it tuning. I can't call myself a tuner. I can't. I don't know what I'm doing to this thing. I'm just messing. How about this? I'm just messing with the DR10. Just seeing what works. Seeing what works. Hack tuning. So, you know, those thoughts were in my head. You know, pop out the ESC. Pop out that receiver box. See what things weigh. See if it's enough to swap it over. Like, let's just say I could, you know, weight balance wise. Right now, I did do a weight balance on this. And with the body off, it actually might react a little bit better. I'm going to show you right now. So with my current setup, I'm going to get my little gram scale that I got, which this was a pretty good idea, but I maxed out the gram scale this morning only because of the way, I guess, this thing is configured right now. So I'll put that on, let it do its little thing here. I'm going to put this side wheel on first, and we'll see what that number is. So this is obviously the driver's side or the left side front wheel. So I'm just going to stick the wheel on the scale. This is just my thought of how things are. So I'm going to put the wheel on the scale. So on this side, we have, let's just say 370, right? It says 369.6. All right. Now I'm going to swap it over to the other side. I think all I have to do is just go like this with it. I hope. Somehow I feel like you guys can't see it if I do it that way. Well, you have to just read it upside down. And if I weigh this side, hopefully the wheel's in the same spot. So you can see that side, if you could read upside down, that says 460 or 455. If I blow on it, it'll change. That's how sensitive it is. And then on the rear, we'll just measure the rear real quick here. We'll go like this with the scale. It's going to be sideways. It's going to be a pain in the neck to read. I'm going to put that wheel on. So motor side, we've got, with the body off, this is where the gram scale maxed out because this only goes to 1,000 grams. And yes, the battery is in. Well, maybe I should measure it without the battery in, but no. I feel like you have to measure it as it runs, obviously without the body, because the body maxes it out. So let's say like, 971, 970 on this side. And then, how am I going to measure this side? Then on this side, $805, $806, somewhere around there. So obviously there's a lot more weight on that whole right side. Like what Earl was saying was that's the motor side. But, does the ESC, would the ESC and maybe the receiver swapping, the only thing you're going to have to do is just buy extra sticky tape. Measure your stuff. Take the ESC, lift it out. Take the receiver, pop it out. You know what I mean? Just disconnect stuff. Measure it kind of dry that way, right? I still feel I need to have the battery in it though, like to keep it proper. But yeah, I don't know. Like this right here, this was $12 or whatever. Now Foundry has some pretty nice looking scales, which I wish Foundry would, like, when he shows like something like that. Foundry, if you're still here, Gary, I want to know what scales you use because those things were pretty sweet looking. Right. Now, see, I'm obviously not paying attention to the chat, so if somebody's talking to me, I'm sorry. I'm going to try and just... You got them from Costco? Okay. I like them. They look pretty cool. Now, out of curiosity, do you have 4 because you weigh out your vehicle all 4 corners? And then when you do that, if that's what you do you also switch your scales around to make sure that you're still getting the same readings? Shift the weight will help, right? Right, Earl. I'll live my life 132 feet at a time right now, right? Oh my gosh. The journey is where learning is done. Right. I agree, but the part I love, end goal's the same. The journey is different. Right. I think. Yeah, RC Gaified. Yeah, there you go. RC Gaified. Right. Earlified Gaified. Right. Hey, I didn't even. Dude, I'm going to write that down in the book. Where's my book? Where did my book go? I'm gonna write that down right now. Because if I don't, I'll probably forget it. Gaified. Earl says it's Gaified. I can't even spell says. It's Gaified. How'd you spell that? Gaified. That's actually perfect, man. Because like I said, I got something that's for the channel, man. All of you guys had better, well, you hadn't better like it, but I feel like everybody's gonna think it's pretty cool. I really do. For the channel, I 100% bought it for the channel, nothing else. Can I use it for other stuff? Hell yeah. But did I buy it for the channel? Wait till you see. Wait till you see. I keep saying like I gotta open the box. I gave it to my daughter this morning. She was like, "Have you opened that box yet?" I'm like, "No, I probably should today." But then my wife is saying, "Hey, could you paint the deck today?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It's just like I gotta go and paint the deck today, and I probably should like do that now. All right, bye. See you later, everybody. But anyways, I like that. I like that. Don't forget, I think somebody just mentioned it. Don't forget, smash that like button if that's what you're into. Just don't smash it so hard that you break your device. Because you know you love this content. You know you love coffee, COVID and coffee, right? You gotta like the channel because you're here. So, I don't know. It's just having fun, man. Can't wait, guy. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you right now, it is gonna be cool. Even my daughter is saying, "Hey, have you opened that yet?" So
What
I
did you
definitely.
tell them?
Huh? No, I didn't tell him yet.
Thought you were gonna open it.
Huh?
Thought you were gonna open it.
I am gonna. I said, AP Slayer Racing. What's going on, man? Right. Thumbs up and coffee. Know it, man. I actually did have I just wrote pen on myself. I did have a coffee today. Usually I have my coffee early when I first wake up. You're going to drive the Camaro? What? Yanko versus DR10. Yeah. Actually right at this very moment the DR10 wins, but that's only because of stupidness. There's a little bit of stupidness that I've got to square away with that car. You just, yeah, just sometimes things are stupid and it doesn't bother you until later. So, and it's bothering me right now. So sometimes stupid needs to be fixed. You got to drill more holes in your motor mount today because right, part of the hobby worth it, right? Yanko. Funny, I almost never hear anyone talking about balancing their models. I would imagine it is super important, especially when one is looking for. Right. So, in a lot of the newer cars, that's something you're touching on something that I actually, when I got back into the hobby, like, so when I got back into the hobby a couple of years ago, that was one of the things that I felt like was bugging me the most because my earlier years with having cars was, at least in my head, it was about balance. It was about, making sure that the only way the car was going to make a straight jump and not be tweaked in the air was for the car to be balanced coming off the jump. And years ago, I used to actually take the time to balance out my vehicles in that way, but that was when you also building stuff. So you position things a certain way, and I think what caused me to do that was I used to build airplanes. So flying an airplane is a heck of a lot about balance. Like not using too much glue on one wing versus the other side. You know what I mean? Like the craziness of all of that. Adding pennies in areas to adjust for weight. Like, well, that was the way I did it. Pennies was easy because it was cheap. You know what I mean? But, and then with, you know, most of these cars, like I've picked them up and I'm thought to myself, like I would pick them up by like the middles, like front and back, just with my fingers. And I'll just show you right now. Here, this is what I'm talking about. This is something that I had already done with this DR10, and I thought to myself, man, why is it like that? That just doesn't seem right. This was, for me, this was just the basic RC guy way of doing things. This is not, don't do things the way I do it, because if you do, it's going to be wrong. So I would pick up the car. I'm trying to make it so it's straight on, right? So I'd pick up the car like this. This is how, when I picked up my DR10, this is the first thing that I thought about. I don't talk about everything. Okay? Balance, right? So I take the car, I'd put my finger somewhere in the middle of the front, the best that I could do. Granted, no, my fingers are not symmetrically round, but I would just grab it by the front somewhere, grab it by the back somewhere where it was as even as I could, and lift up the vehicle, right? And as I would lift up the vehicle, you would see, okay, look at how much the car wants to tilt to that side. So obviously all the weight was off. Now that is just doing it with my fingers, but I guess it's that basic way of just, you know what I mean? Without scales and without, you know, specific equipment and whatever. When I picked up the car, I'm like, damn, there's a lot of weight on that side. It just seems wrong. But this is team associated. This is a race car. They must have accounted for that. Yeah, they did. That's why there were shorter springs on one side of my car than the other. Actually, were the shorter springs on the other side? Actually, my shorter springs might have been on my left side, not my right. Because that would then make sense, wouldn't it? Right? Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Maybe that is the way it's supposed to be. Maybe the shorter springs that I had, maybe they were supposed to be on that side to account for, no, be on the opposite. What am I talking about? It would be on the right side. So I am right. See what I mean? What happens with my head? It's just, I see a squirrel and my head goes off and I'm tracking the squirrel. So yes. So actually my shorter springs were on that whole right side of the car. Maybe that was the way that they intended it. I never even thought of that. Wow. Never even thought of that. Maybe that literally could have to do with some of this issue. Huh. See what happens? See what happens when I actually start to think and talk at the same time? I wonder now. Now I'm wondering. I'm going to have to break out those stock springs. I'm going to have to put the shorter springs on the right-hand side now. Damn. I wonder. Team Associated, was that what you meant to do? Is mine the unicorn? Did I actually get the correctly built DR10 and I screwed it up? Maybe add some counterbalance instead of moving the ESC around. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I totally get that too, right? But I feel as though I would rather not add counterbalance weight yet if I could potentially use what's already in the car to balance it out. You get what I'm saying? Like I feel like you'd be adding unnecessary weight by adding it that way, where you could potentially add less weight to the car, counterbalancing it after the fact. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and I'm pretty sure the guy's name, he doesn't want any attention brought to himself, but his name is Stan Reed, and he's got I don't know what this guy does for a living, but every communication that he has had with me, he is very he's very exacting. So, you know, while I'm the garage, you know, driveway, you know, mechanic or whatever you want to call me, grease monkey, whatever, backyard mechanic. I'm the backyard mechanic. This guy is like the guy that is designing the car. Like, just every he doesn't give me a he did give me one sentence, but it was a funny sentence. But every time he writes a reply, his reply is not over my head, but explained in exacting detail, which can be a help too when somebody explains something like that. So that's why I got the gram scale. And I never thought about getting a damn gram scale. You know what I mean? But I guess I should have. And then now that I saw Gary's gram scale, now I'm like, oh, I like that gram scale better because bigger's better, right? So COVID and coffee, right? Well, yeah, having coffee. The best part of waking up is COVID in your cup. Today's basher cars are so overpowered on average that they can be maneuvered in the air. Right, regardless of weight and balance. Right. Yeah, Justin O'Neill, you're totally right. You're totally right. But I just remember picking up the first few RTRs that I grabbed, and that was like the first thing like I checked. Like I was like checking like its balance, and I was just like, the thing is so way off. Like, how would they figure throwing a 6S brick on the right side of this car that there would be anything that would balance it out on the left side, or vice versa? You know what I mean? It's just like the damn brick packs like weigh 50 pounds versus any of the electronics that they've got on the other side. Nothing balances out. So, but that's also what made it easy to be a thrasher or a basher. I call myself a thrasher, not a basher. Everybody else uses the bash word. I'm a thrasher. I feel like that's literally what I do to my RCs. I really do thrash the heck out of them. But this DR10 is making me do a little bit of finessing. But you can see my impatientness on my videos. I will even point blank say, you're not supposed to do that, as I'm kicking myself in my head, going, stop being impatient. Stop ripping it back and power sliding just so you can get the next hit. You know what I mean? Like, I have to stop that mentality. And here I am telling everybody else, make sure on your return trip that you're driving nice and slow, that you come around the corner, don't rip it out. You know what I mean? But then you watch me like 2 seconds later and I'm doing a power slide just so I can start my next rip. You know what I mean? It's like, it's that classic case of do as I say, not as I do. Definitely don't do as I do. How about that? Just imagine what what? NiCad used to weigh. Lipo was way lighter. Well, for power ratio, yeah. No, sorry, maybe. What's going on, man? I didn't even know you were here. Backyard mechanic. Yeah, that's me. Yep. Driveway monkey, backyard mechanic. I live my life. I live my life by a sheet of cardboard at a time. Like literally. My son came over the other day because he's got a nice fluke meter, and we were doing some ohm readings on that Jaguar, and we found an issue, squared away that issue, found another issue. It's all wiring. So, um, so what was funny was I when he went to go under the car, I obviously had, I had cardboard, out next to my truck, and he's like, I said, "Oh, do you want to go under and check out where that?" Because he didn't know where the crank sensor was. It's on the flywheel. So when he went to want to go under the car, he's like, "Oh, where's that nice creeper you have?" Now I have a nice creeper. Okay, it's an OEM Tools, just real nice, comfortable. It's got like a head cushion and little side bolsters, and it's got a lumbar support, and you know what I mean, right? It's a nice creeper. But what do I grab? I grab cardboard because that's what I'm used to. So I'm grabbing the cardboard and I'm gonna lay it out. He's in the garage looking for the creeper, and it's just like, that's me. I live my life by a piece of cardboard at a time, or a length of cardboard at a time. Like Earl lives his life 132 feet at a time right now. I still live my life at a sheet of cardboard at a time. Where's the creeper? There you go. Right. Barbecue. Exactly. You just literally said it exactly right. Where's the creeper? See, even you guys make me laugh. This is what's great. I think what I hope, right, throughout this whole process of COVID and coffee, getting to, I guess, kind of in a way, you get to know who I am, what I do, you kind of get to know what I do. You don't let in on everything. Something's going to be a mystery. But I hope, like, there's got to be a certain amount of enjoyment that people are, I hope, coming to, subscribing to this channel. I hope it's entertaining. I hope it's, maybe not informative. It might be a little informative. There are some things that I do know. And there are some things, such as this DR10, that I didn't even think of, but you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's the difference between, like, somebody that works on muscle cars and then they try to go get a job at Tesla. And they're just like, literally, they're just looking at the car going, where's the carburetor? You know what I mean? It's like, all right, where's the Dominator? You know what I mean? Where's the distributor? There's no goddamn spark plug wires. I don't know. I just hope you guys are having a good time coming to the channel. You know what I mean? Because that's I'm having a blast doing it. I'm having a blast doing this. You gotta, like I said, you got a group of guys here that seemingly are always coming here, which is great. It eventually, I hope, will just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I think right now I'm at 3,700 subscribers. Like, how they have that meme, mind blown? I think right now I'm at 3,700 subscribers right now. I am at, waiting for it to refresh. It's not refreshing. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that everybody, I sometimes think that YouTube, like, throws in, like, extra subscribers that really aren't, like, subscribers. I don't know how they do their thing, but right now it's at 3,730. So that's insane. So that means literally around about, the content was good enough, because you got your people that, try to give you a hard time, but the content was good enough so that somebody literally clicked that subscribe button. That to me is pretty cool. But that Team Associated, look at that Team Associated video is still loading. It's still uploading. I don't know what the heck is going on with that thing. YouTube has been wicked slow lately with everything. But that's not too bad. 3730 today. I should write that down. Earl says Gaiafied, and today it's 3730 subscribers. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Do you know how many? Almost 4,000 people are? I mean, you know what I mean? And all of you guys you're one of the one. Subs 3730. That's insane. STL Scion, what's going on, guy? Oops. Fun, informative. Yeah, I think more fun. You thinking about getting some Zop Pops? Then saw my video and decided to not chance it, right? Well, yeah, no, not with a 12S system. You'd be out of your mind. Yes? I think they're giving you my subs. You know what's funny? Here's a question, totally unrelated. But if someone mentions the word sub to you, right? And I mean like a real sub, like one you eat. What is the first? I'm going to write it down what the first one is that comes to my mind. I bet you're wrong.
I think I'm right.
Okay, but wait a minute.
Say it without looking?
Yeah, well, don't say it yet. So I wrote down what the first food sub is that comes to my mind. So right now I'm curious. There's like 27 people in here. Chime in right now. I don't know if you eat subs, but if that'll also show that if you're paying attention or you got me on mute. So what's the first sub that comes into your mind? An edible sub. We got Italian, multi-personality sub. We got Italian so far, right? Barbecue is meatball. We got a tuna sub, turkey grinder. But is that a sub though? A turkey grinder is not a sub though, right? It has to be called a turkey sub.
A grinder is a different word for a sub.
Oh, it is? Okay. See, I don't know.
Depends on where he's from.
The wedgie? What's a wedgie sub? Do you mean a veggie? I think it might mean a veggie. Or does it say veggie? Come on, people, chime in. What's the first? Yeah, different things. Right. Black Angus steak sub? Wow, okay. Wedgie. I don't know what that is. The foot-long wedge or wedgie? I don't know if I'd want to have a wedgie.
Doesn't it have like, I might just be thinking of like the burger version, but doesn't it have like pineapple and ham and stuff in it?
So pineapple and ham in it?
I'm just asking.
Does the wedgie burger? Meatball, right? From Quiznos, Black Angus steak, right? Okay, I get you. Maybe it's a Connecticut thing. Could be. But is it... But Ritter, is the wedgie a pineapple and would you say?
I said, does it have pineapple and ham in it?
Does it have pineapple and ham in it? Is she's wondering. I know, isn't this getting everybody hungry right now?
It might be something.
A Reuben? Oh, right. Reuben's good too. Okay, so but what's the first one you think of? Barbecue. You said meatball, right? So this is what I wrote. You go looking at my paper. All right, that's what I wrote. So let's see. Does she think
I
that...
saw it. I can't.
You saw it? How'd you see it?
I just saw it now.
Okay, were you right?
No,
You were going to say Italian.
Yeah, I thought you would think Italian.
Because she's right. Now, the first sub that I think about is a meatball sub, but the first sub that I would order she's right, would be an Italian. So if I was going to order a sub, I definitely get, this is what I get. I want a large Italian sub, everything, no huts, honey mustard only, toasted. That's the Italian sub that I eat. Yep. Large Italian, everything, no huts, honey mustard only, no oil, toasted. That's my Italian sub.
That's so specific.
I am so hungry right now for an Italian sub.
That's so
My mouth is literally doing a toilet flush of wanting to have a Italian sub now. Winter chicken dinner, right? I love meatball, right? Meatball sub is great, but if I was to order one for some strange reason, I might think meatball in my head, but there's been so many times that a meatball sub just hasn't tasted good. But for some reason, Italian sub always tastes good.
I wouldn't know.
You gonna make me an Italian sub now?
No.
No, what do you mean now? Not veggies. Not veggies? Okay. There are subs, wedgies, not veggies, not wedgies, and grinders. Right. Y'all making me hungry, right? Steak and cheese, right. Yes. Mitchell, that's probably my second one. Because again, a sub shop can really mess up a steak and cheese. It all depends upon the type of shredded steak they're using. But yeah, that's another one of my favorites. But Italian seems to be the one that I would order first. If I knew the sub shop was good, it would be a steak and cheese. And then like if I was just, I don't know, feeling crazy on that day, I'd get a meatball sub. But yeah, I'm definitely getting hungry now. She's over here eating chips,
I'm hungry.
making sandwiches.
It's not a sandwich.
What is it? It's got cheese on it.
There's coleslaw on it.
Oh, that looks like a whole bunch of cheese. You made a coleslaw sandwich?
Yeah, it's the spicy coleslaw.
Oh, she made a spicy coleslaw wrap. You're dropping chips. What's wrong with you?
Stop watching me.
Oh, she's awesome. French dip. Starving now, right? I know, huh? That's all it takes, right? There you go. Come to RC Guy Garage. Get hungry. Get hungry for a DR10. Get hungry for RCs and get hungry for some food and maybe even get hungry for a nice tea or two. Making a trip to Connecticut, right? Gotta hit Subway now. There you go. Yep. I know. Anyways, so that's the story right now with the DR10. There's still just stuff that I want to change. Right now, in its current configuration, we're getting it to launch mostly straight. Stock power still, 3S. It's running an Ovonic Air, 8,000 milliamp, 50C pack, 3S obviously. I don't know if I said that. We are definitely off on the balance of the vehicle, so I want to address the weight balance of the vehicle. I want to see if I pop that ESC out and the receiver, leave the battery pack in there. I want to see like how is the car doing then? Like obviously motor side is going to weigh more, but can I adjust things internally, like concerning that, to change the balance of the car? You know, then maybe I can get away from using so many shims on that one side. So I don't know. It's just, this is what, like I keep saying, this is what's great about the hobby. It's all small scale. Throw it on your counter, work on it. Just make sure you clean off your counter when you're done. My wife would not be happy right now if she saw the counter. There's like this road debris. That's one of the things that she doesn't like. This road debris on the or lawn debris. on the counter right now. And she needs like the whole counter to make the meals. Don't you look at me like that. She's looking at me like that because what will happen, right, is I'll walk away and I'll leave everything on the counter, and then right before Mom comes home, she's the one, my daughter Sam, she's the one that picks up the mess. She got mad at me the other day.
Put it on the phone and stairs.
Right. Because my tripod has a 10-pound weight that swings on the bottom of it to keep it steady. And when she went to go down the stairs, she almost fell down the stairs because I don't know what happened. Something threw her off. Flying Fortress.
Stuck on the stairs.
What weight diff fluid and shock oils are you using? So currently right now, stock diff fluid in the front now. I had originally changed the front diff fluid to a 70. Seemed to be working well, but then I swapped it and it actually worked better. So now in the rear it's 70. In the front it's stock, which was, I was told, I haven't even looked, and I hate to say it, but I hate manuals. So I was told that stock weight fluid is 30 in all around, was 30 weight fluid. So now I'm 30 in the front, 70 in the rear. I'm 1 million diff fluid, which I got to put the spool in. So I have a spool. So that's going to be no diff. That's going to be no diff fluid. That's just going to be a locker in the rear. That's how I want to run it. I could be wrong, but that's what I see in my head. That's what I want. But you can't, I don't think you can base, I mean, unless you're just looking for information on how I'm setting up my car, I don't think you could base setting up your car the way I do mine, because mine is that backyard mechanic kind of, setting things up. I have cut springs basically in the front. I'm running the Earlified fuel tubing for the front shocks. Yeah, I don't know. I'm having a blast though. So, and even though I was told the weight fluid was 30 all around, I actually don't believe it. And who told me 30? I believe you because you're getting it from your manual. But for my eyes, I don't believe that that's the fluid that's in my vehicle. Because when I did the dip test, it's just how it may not be the most accurate way of doing it, but I take my flathead screwdriver, make sure it's totally clean, and I'll literally dip it into the shock and see how it runs off of the screwdriver. Then I'll go over to my fluids, I'll pick what fluid that I think it is, and I'll literally just take the screwdriver, dip it in, and see if I've got the same, I call it viscosity. I call it see if it's the same kind of viscosity kind of thing. So I call it the dip test. I just literally just dip it in, and I always use this screwdriver because it seems to be consistent. I dip it in the same way each time. You know what I mean? So if I go that way or if I go that way, normally I go this way with the blade facing that way so I can see it run off. But the fluid that was in my shocks seemed, I don't have an analyzer, seemed to be more like 20 to 25 weight was what I think I was seeing. And at the time, the shock fluid was the same temperature between the bottle and what was in the shocks. So I don't know. I don't have any other way of measuring other than literally just using my blind eyes to guess. That's the only way I can do it, is just a guess. Just getting some ideas because I'm heading to the hobby shop today or tomorrow. Nice, man. Everyone online applying for help. So if people don't realize, Earl has a class. It's one time. Is it that one-time low price right now? $99.95. One time only. It's the it's how to get Earlified on drag racing. So you might want to hit Earl up for that, or is it 4 payments? It's either one payment of $99.95 or 4 easy pays of $39.95. So you take your pick, whichever one you want to get. It's called the Earlified Way. So you might want to hit Earl up for that class that he's doing on drag racing. I already bought into it. It's a joke. But you never know. Earl probably could do it, though. Right. You'll paint any car, right? And the paint will never come out the same. So if you ask him to do a paint job, do not expect to get the same exact paint job. His are one-offs, one-of-a-kinds. I'd like to seeing it with the lock in the rear and see how that. Right, that will be one of the steps that I take. Yeah, it's definitely one of the steps I'm going to take. What I was supposed to do was somebody gave me a super chat that was enough, basically, almost to get a whole transmission. So what I was doing is I was piecemealing the transmission initially. So I kind of like already had parts like set aside. So a transmission is basically what was needed to do what I wanted to do, because I literally wanted to get and swap parts out. So, and that was Ace Racer 2040. I think it's 2040 that bought the transmission for this DR10. And that's going to be the upgraded transmission. So the transmission is going to have all metal gears. It's going to have a spool in it. I need to get a set of bearings for it right now. So, yeah. So I probably should have just ordered a transmission, but I hate ordering waste of money parts. So, anyways, all right. 10% coupon, 10% coupon code, right? Cash wrap. An RC Guy coupon, there you go, right? The RC Guy discount. Yeah, I'll provide you with the RC Guy discount if you want to hook on to the How to Get Earlified class that he does. $99.95, one time cost, or 4 easy pay of $39.95. So you just pick which one that you want to do, and you either go the easy route of paying that one-time price, or you pay it out over time and end up paying more. And you all saw it. He paints bodies too for $99.95. Shipping's not included, by the way. Right. You can get Earlified with Guyfied savings. Absolutely. What? I know. Dogs hate to be on their back. She loves it.
Why?
She's such a nut.
Why?
She's totally, because she wanted Sam to come over and give her belly rubs.
Why?
Just give her belly rubs. That's what she wants. She doesn't want you to strangle her.
Yeah, she does.
You gotta take her off. Nice. How much will what?
What's he doing? What's he doing?
Oh, what? What, paint job? Right, Guyfied savings. I like that. Well, in that case, it's a steal of a deal. Right, you're in. Right. Early bird specials. Right. Oh, so Foundry got the 3723 early bird special. Now, see, that's only available to special people. So you must have been on that special persons list. Uh-oh. Looks like we're gonna get in trouble here. All right. How long has this stream been going for? Too long? Hour and 35 minutes. That's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. All right. So where are we here? So what do I have to do to this DR10 today? Lots of stuff. So stuff that I want to try to do to this DR10. Now that I've got it going straight, but in a wrong way. Now what I want to do is almost like kind of strip it back and go backwards. That's why I'm saying you probably don't want to watch me work on the DR10 because it's going to be going forward, getting to the point of, okay, now it's right, but it's still wrong. You know what I mean? I do want to take the receiver box and receiver out. I want to pop out the ESC. Like, there's so many things. Like, I could show you the list of things that I want to do. Right now in its current configuration, what I should be doing is I should be resetting the toe on the left side, left and right side, but then I still have to adjust the chassis. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, what do I do first? There's too many variables. Number one, what I should be doing is I should be leveling out the chassis in its current configuration, but remember where it was. So leave all the settings the way I've got it. Re-level out, I'm going to write it down. Re-level out the chassis. So I'm going to re-level out the chassis under its current configuration. Then see what happens. Like, you know what I mean? Adjust my shock position on that rear left side or driver's side. Adjust that shock position so that I get my chassis back straight, okay? That's number one. Do a couple of test hits on that. So number one, level out chassis, okay? Then if it starts going straight again, which I hope it does, I feel like then what I might want to do, it all depends upon what happens there, then I might want to pop out the electronics and see if I can get a better chassis balance, like weight distribution, I guess, balance across the chassis is what I want to try second. So this will be like number two with a big question mark on it would be, I'll just call it weight balance. And then number three, because there's something actually in that mix. That's literally got to be why. Earl, I wish, Earl, you're on here. Have you measured all four of your springs to see if you have two springs that are shorter than the other, like mine had? My shorter springs were on the right side of my vehicle. And that makes sense. Now that I think about it, that actually makes sense. So all four of your springs the same height? I'd be curious to know. You probably already changed out your springs and did all that. You probably already have upgraded threaded titanium, nitrate coated, shafted, crazy shocks and ultra light, heat treated, coated springs. You've already got like the thousands of dollars in upgrades into your DR10. But I'm just curious to know, stock springs, did you have one spring that was shorter than the other? And it makes sense. That's what's crazy. That actually makes sense. So number three is almost like, okay, set up the springs the way Associated had it. Let's see if that, man, that means I'll have to retract that video. I'll do an amended video if that's the case. Mine are all the same height. I showed it in a video, but now both rear are shorter. Both rear are shorter because you changed them out or because you compressed them? The unobtainium parts, there you go. I've had to settle for some Chinesium parts. Right? Yeah, dude. No one think about it. In your own house, okay? In your own dang house. We're not talking the lumber. You could actually be talking the sheetrock because depending upon when your house was built, you might have some of that Chinesium sheetrock in your house. But just literally look around. You tell me in your house, what's the ratio? What's the ratio of made in USA, not that fake made in USA, to where it's all Chinese parts, but then somehow assembled in the USA, and then they throw a USA sticker on it that says made in the USA because technically they made it in the USA. What's the ratio in your own house on anything? A pen. This might be made in USA with Chinese parts. Right? Come on. Made in China. Made in China. Made in China. This knife better not be made in China. This is a CRKT knife. Fossil. What does that say? That better not say made in China. But then again, just because it's from China doesn't mean that it's bad. Not all Chinese things. That's a misconception. Not all things that come from China are bad. Some things are actually pretty good. It's just like the stuff that's made in USA. Not everything made in USA is great. Some of it's crap. You know, come on. USA, they sold the pet rock and the invisible leash or invisible pet, where they had the leash that was shaped like there was an animal attached to it. People bought it. People bought the damn pet rock. Are you kidding me? Since I've been launching the RC, the springs are failing. Right, okay. I get you. Might have compressed. Right. Yeah, no, Earl definitely. So I kind of wonder now then. I wonder if all my springs are the same height. I did find that I had literally 2 sets of matched springs. One whole set which was on that right side, were shorter than the left. And I just didn't, I don't know. Maybe it's what they meant. They reuse the molds, right? Right. Exactly. Jeep. That is one heck of a long name. Jeep Dogs RC Bike Life. What's going on, man? This is the first time I think I've seen you here. That's a long name. This is also a topic that really interests me. Great conversation. Yeah. RC Odyssey. Thanks, man. All right. I've got a right at 12:30, which is literally in half a minute. Oh, no, never mind. I'm just going to end the stream right here. We will probably pick up later. I don't want to promise anything because what ends up happening is I go through the day and I get my butt kicked. And then by the time it comes nighttime, I'm married, have kids, animals, have a house. I have to do other stuff too, you know what I mean? Someday maybe it'll only be YouTube. We'll see. It's literally you guys that are making it happen though. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Like I said, broken record, hit that bell notification. Smash that thumbs up if that's what you're into. Just don't smash it so hard that you break your device that you're on, because then you won't be able to see the awesome content from RC Guy Garage. I have a Jaguar video to put out too. It might not interest most of you, but RC stuff is not the only thing that I do, and that's not the only stuff you're ever going to see on the channel. It's just right now I'm locked into this DR10 because I'm literally having a blast. I personally would. I'd suggest getting one just because of the base entry. It's getting you into it to potentially this could be a very capable vehicle. Nothing's perfect. It is RTR. Much better out of the box, I'm assuming, on 2S. Once you start getting into the 3S realm and pushing it and screwing it up by changing settings, it gets hairy. But that's drag racing, just literally in the real world. Add more power, you're gonna add just more than more power. You add more power, you're gonna have to add a couple of other things too, because stuff's gonna break. Stuff's going to obviously, like with Earl, now Earl's getting crazy launches. He's killing his springs. So now he's going to have to upgrade to a better spring. I don't know. My recommendation is go get one, but don't listen to me because you might get it and hate it. But if you get this or get a used one, get maybe like one of those slash conversions. Try drag racing if you haven't. You might like it. This is my first shot at, other than Dragbug, but Dragbug is a conversion, hack conversion build like everything else I do. I don't know, man. Just they're short money in a way, considering what you get, it's short money. And it makes you, maybe tunes you up a little bit, like it's tuned me up. So, all right, I'm out. I'm just going to say hello to everybody. Thank the backers for today. We had Jack Brazier and Mitchell's RC for the backers for today. Mitchell's RC, you did not say what that was supposed to go to. So if you're still here, or if you jump on Facebook or whatever, I might have to just message you to find out where you're looking for that to go. Jack Brazier just said any. And then Mitchell's RC, he slammed the super chats today. Thank you, man. I very much appreciate that. I'm not sure if that's an any or if that's going to something specific. You just got to let me know. Like Earl says, now we've got Earlified and we also now have Gaiified. So we've got Earlified versus Gaiified. And Earlified right now is winning out. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. He's a pro. I'm not. So, anyways, thank you everybody for coming to this episode of COVID and Coffee. Forget what we called this. Oh, have to straighten this. And that's basically what it was. Talking about the DR10. Got it to launch straight, but through sacrificing other stuff. Now it's time to get away from the sacrifice and to still keep maintaining that car to still go straight. It actually can be done. All of my launches are slipper locked, which that's what I'm staying at right now. That's what I'm staying at now. If you haven't watched Earl's latest video on his car, man, he put a big block in it, or he's pumping nitrous. So it definitely sounds a little bit more powerful now. So he's already at that level of, he's already straight. He's already ripping it. That's because he knows what to do. Me, struggling, but it's still happening. So anyways, thanks everybody for watching this episode of COVID and Coffee from RC Guy Garage. I am out. I'm just going to say hello to a couple of the people that are here. We have 28 people here right now. Wow. Let's see. I'm just going to jump into the chat real quick. You can look at the DR10 inside of my head. We got Golden Goose Gaming is here. Barbecue, Altered RC. We got Eric Vale. We've got Ritter Frederick. Hopefully I said that right. Hopefully I rolled my tongue because I think it's a Frederick. I just messed that up. It could be Frederick, but it almost looks like it's an I. So Ritter Friedrich. I think it's Ritter Friedrich. I'll just say Ritter. It's easy. John Wick is here. Earl Moorhead is here. Vince Vargas, Justin O'Neill, Edward Skylanen. Sorry. Edward's here. R. German's here. Mitchell's RC, you are here. RC Odyssey. Just go back. STL was here. He might. Yeah, STL took off. I didn't even notice. We got Scott Dvornak. No, I've never owned an X-Max. If you're here, I didn't even notice that you were here. I'm sorry, man. John Wick, I think I said that. The Jeep Dogs RC Bike Life. I think this is your first time here. Pretty sure. I definitely feel like I would have recognized that name. Who else? I think that's about it. Just going back. Flying Fortress Foundry was here. And I think I am close. Oh, Jerry VRC. He was here. But he might have jumped out. Anyways, I think that's it. All right. So, like I always say to everybody, just get out there and rip it. That is what you should do. Just get out there and have a blast. I'm out. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Getting tongue-tied here. Thank you, everybody, for coming to this live stream. And we will see you later. Get out there and rip it.